Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information on the Petrea Wealth Group or to schedule your complimentary consultation, visit PetreaWealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
I'm sure that you've had clients who've scoffed at the thought of an annuity because of what they heard from other people or other sources. So let's talk about annuities here for a couple of seconds, because there are positive reasons that make people think twice. There are good reasons to look at an annuity. Tell me some of those.
And it's a shame that people listen to the guy cutting the grass about their future, about their financial security. And it's all that word of mouth, which always gets watered down. That I think it was called a telephone game when we were younger, Mark, where you sit there and you starts out the cat is gray.
Right.
By the time it gets back around to you, it's George has 5 feet. It loses everything. And that's what happens when it comes to annuities. Because there's different types of annuities, and there's good annuities and there's bad annuities. And not every annuity is right for you and your situation. So some of the advantages are, let's think about this first off. We always say we have good news and bad news. Mm-hmm. Good news is you're living longer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The bad news is you're living longer. Oh. Congratulations. And the number one fear that people have is outliving their money. In other words, running out of money as we get older. So what an annuity can do, depending on what we use it for, is to set up a lifetime income that you and your spouse can never outlive. Think about that. You live to be 100. God bless you. Besides getting a letter from the president, which you have to pay for now, you're going to get continuous stream of income. Now, you might be out of money in that fund, but you'll never run out of the income stream for you and your spouse. So that's the way we use annuities to help feed that. We have the opportunities, obviously, to help lock in some higher rates with an annuity and to take away the risk. Risk is a big thing here, right? Mm-hmm. Take away the risk with your money. So there's other annuities that we use, a fixed index annuity, where we share in the upsides of the market. So when the market recuperates and moves upwards, great. We can make money. But when the market goes down and you lose money in the market, I don't care because I can never go backwards with my annuity. These are things you need to talk to someone about. This is not something, folks, that you put on the computer and type in annuities and somebody sitting in their basement says annuities are bad or annuities are good or this. You need to speak to someone that works with it every day. And that's exactly what I do with Petrea Wealth. When you come in and sit down with me, and we have those conversations, we see what the objective is for your retirement money, what your goals are for your retirement money, and to make sure you can get there. And it all starts with a phone call to 302-330-2166 or go to Petrea, P-A-T-R-I-A wealth.com, and let's schedule the no-cost, no-obligation appointment because you need to hear the facts about what you're listening to and understand how they're going to work for you. Because at the end of the day, it's about you and making sure this works for you properly.
George, I think it's important to say again, no cost, no obligation.
Absolutely.
Because I know recently you were on WDEL and you were talking to the audience and having a good time, and it was a great interview. Great. You're turning into a radio star. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not. But you made the comment that there's never a cost to come see me. And I don't set a qualifier. I don't say, hey, man, I won't even talk to you unless you have $5 million in assets. Or if you have, $2 million, come and see me. I think it's important to remind people that it's your money. And George wants to help build opportunities through annuities, through a portfolio, regardless of where you are in life.
Absolutely. Because this is all a roadmap, right? This is pre-GPS, folks, okay? We used to pull the map out of your dashboard and be able to look and see where you're going. This is exactly the same. It's a roadmap to your retirement. How are we going to get to where we want to go? Where do we want to go? We'll plan the course. We'll look at the obstacles that are going to come in the way, and we'll make sure that you get to go where you want to go. Because a good financial plan is a roadmap that shows us exactly how the choices we make today will affect our future tomorrow. And it's about making sure that we look at the things that we can say the glass is always half full, right? Rose-colored glasses. Sure. And that's your job, folks, okay? Mark, John, Sue, Bob, that's your job to think about all the good things. My job is to think about the potholes on the terrible road system we drive around on. and how we're going to avoid them. Or if we hit them, how are we going to be okay? And that's what we do at Betrayal Wealth. And when you come in, we're going to start with that plan, which starts with an income plan. So where's the money going to come from in retirement? What bucket are we going to pull from to give you the avenues of income you need to continue to go on the road? We're going to go over expenses with you. You got to think about expenses. If we're not thinking about them and adding in inflation, we're making a huge mistake. And the bigger mistake that people look at, Mark, is with the tax plan. Not thinking you pay tax in retirement. Folks, come on. We need the plan for it. If your advisor right now, Mark, isn't helping you, they are doing you an injustice. Give me a call at 302-330-2166. Let's have that meeting. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's sit down, talk, and let me help you take the gray out of that retirement and make it very black and white.
It's a no-cost, no-obligation consultation from George and the team at the Betrayal Wealth Group. Again, that number, 302-330-2166. Let's sit down with George and let's see where you're at. Maybe you're just curious. Am I making the right moves? Do I need to make adjustments? And it costs you nothing to have this conversation. 302-330-2166. And that's going to include the conversation about your Social Security strategy because, you're talking about people Googling online, talking about annuity as well. It seems like anytime we start talking about our savings and our future and our retirement, Social Security is a big point of contention right now. And it's something that, unfortunately, we don't think enough about because when one of you passes, one of your monthly Social Security checks will go away. That can mean a substantial drop in income for that surviving spouse. So, George, when you're helping clients with a Social Security claiming strategy, what kind of factors do you consider?
And that's really a hard area for people to understand, Mark, because they think the day I stop working, you have to take Social Security. Because John, my neighbor, did that. Or me and my father did that 35 years ago. When we look at that, there's a lot of things going in there because my job as a financial advisor and planner for you is to give you 3, 4, even 5 reliable, dependable, sustainable avenues of income in retirement. And one of them, if you're lucky enough to be a federal employee, a teacher, work for one of these big corporations, Boeing, Christiana, and have a pension, that's one of them. Social Security is another one. So when we talk about Social Security, we want to see what the plan looks like because there are a lot of question marks right now. If you do any reading, you see that 2033 is really a scary time for us, for our financial stability for Social Security. And one of the proprietary programs that I use looks at the opportunities or the downfalls, maybe a better word, about your Social Security being reduced up to 24% in 2033. That is going into our plan when we sit and talk with you and to make sure you understand what the right stage and age to take it. Once again, we are not the same. We are all very unique individuals. Mm-hmm. And Leslie and I have a plan for Social Security. Leslie's going to take it probably at 63 when she stops working. And I'm going to probably push it off to 70 right now. And the reason being is just, let's think about that. Leslie has longevity on her side. I know you've heard this before, Mark. My father-in-law died at 95 several years ago, and my mother-in-law just passed away at 94. My father died at 62, and my mother lived to 82. Chances are Leslie's going to outlive me substantially. So by me delaying taking Social Security, I am going to give her, listen to that, we're going to get a raise for her, so to speak, upon my passing. Because you don't get to keep both of these Social Securities. They're going to sit there. How dare they pay you? And you paid into it for all these years. How dare you want to get your money back, right? But she will get the raise. And let's use the example. And these numbers obviously aren't true. But let's say that Leslie's Social Security is $700 a month and mine's $1,800. Well, the day I die, Leslie is going to lose her $700 a month and just continue to receive my $1,800. How are we going to replace that $700 a month? It's kind of like it's football season, right, Mark? We talk about the Eagles are playing, Georgia, all the college teams, Penn State, Delaware. Those athletes are great athletes, but a lot of the things they do is called muscle memory. It's just repetition. We do it every day, you and I.
Yes, sir.
When you're writing, typing, it's muscle memory. Well, our bodies get used to that with our finances. And by having that $700 a month coming in and now losing it, what happens? We get a little crazy, right? A little crazy being offbeat. We're not used to this. and we need to replace it. And my job is to show you how we're going to replace that when John or Sue passes, how we're going to survive. And by using the right plans, we can help you do that. Give me a call and let's see how I can help you at 302-330-2166. Or better yet, come on down to the office at 501 Silverside Road, Suite 31 here in Wilmington at 19809. And let me have the chance to show you what we need to do.
Well, you talk about muscle memory, except for Achilles. His muscles decided to start falling apart on him. 302-330. I feel bad for it. You know what? He's not even here to defend himself. So
that's okay.
He'll be fine. 302-330-2166. PetraeaWealth.com to help you visualize what is your life going to look like in retirement. Maybe you're going to play golf every day. Maybe you're going to do the cruise scene and go on a bunch of cruises. Maybe you are going to buy that RV and travel around and go visit family all over the country. Or maybe you're a big music fan and you want to travel your favorite band across the country. So this was an interesting story, George, that now a lot of artists like Taylor Swift, like Beyonce, some of these huge artists that are selling out venues. Well, not only are the tickets just to get in to see the show incredibly expensive, well, now Ticketmaster is selling listening seats. So these are tickets that get you into the venue, but it's behind the stage, or it's to the side of the stage, or it's in a whole nother holding area somewhere in the venue where you get to still be a part of the concert, but you don't actually get to see the show. Does that even can you visualize that? So I'm paying anywhere from 50.
Is that called a radio?
It's called, YouTube Live. It's $50 to $250 for these concert tickets to not even see the show, but you can hear it live. So what's the trade-off? The trade-off, you get to hear it, but you can't see it. Let's talk about trade-offs here for a second. So have you seen these types of trade-offs in retirement planning where someone might choose to delay retirement to build savings or maybe even retire early and adjust their lifestyle?
I have, and that's called the life. It's called give and take, pros and cons. And that's part of the process that we sit down and go over with you. Because there are a lot of times people sit there and they come in, they're 60 and think, I want to retire. I want to be 6'5", folks. I'm not. So we talk about that, but I show you the way it's going to look. So opportunities. Well, we could start retiring at 62. Maybe we're going to take Social Security earlier than we originally planned because you want to get out now. Maybe we're going to take a little more conservative investment approach to your account, because when we talk about the mix for people in retirement, you have to have safety, Mark. Obviously, we need safety. We talked about those annuities earlier. So that's our safe money, okay? We have our income coming in from Social Security, maybe a pension. That's our income side. But we still need our investable side, because even though we're retired, we still need to get bigger and stronger in retirement. So we have our investable assets also. And that's a mix, and it's not a standard rule of what percentages go where. It's a product mix we look at going by age, your investment options, your risk factors, those type of things. So we have to take a more conservative or more aggressive approach in the investment side, depending on what our objective is. We're going to talk about how you're going to spend money. We can retire today, yes, but we need to cut X, Y, and Z expenses. This is a give and take process, and we need to see what it looks like. And then we're going to have to make sure, because we talked about people, advisors, maybe you have someone currently, and they're not talking to you about taxes coming up and the questions with taxes, right? But then we have to sit there and think about another major expense that we have as retirees. And we said our first biggest concern is outliving our money. Our second has to be medical costs and expenses. How are we going to pay for our medical expenses? Are we going to have Medicare Advantage, supplement, private health insurance? What are we going to do? And that's the fourth part I think we have to look at in the give and take, how we're going to handle that and how it's going to get us in the best place. When you come in, we sit down and talk, you're going to speak with Angie about the Medicare part of that. That's a huge piece of this puzzle. And she's going to be here to help guide you through that and to help pick the plan that's going to work right. Because I think one of the best things about us, Mark, I rephrase that, I know the best thing about us is that we are all individuals, unique. Yeah. None of us are the same, especially when it comes to our retirement plan. And it's kind of like a snowflake. You're a snowflake, Mark.
Oh, don't you call me. I am not a snowflake. I am proud. I am strong. I don't need safe
You're not a
spaces.
college kid anymore, right?
I'm not a
offended
college
by
kid.
the clouds outside. I know.
I'm a grown man, not offended by sidewalk chalk.
When I say we're snowflakes, it's not in that connotation. The snowflakes have taken a beating over the last few years because people are so
easily
get
offended.
balled up. Yes,
sir.
But when he talks about snowflakes for retirement, do you know 1 billion snowflakes come in a snowstorm up here in the Northeast? I know down in the land you don't have snow like we do, but up here when we have a snowstorm, 1 billion snowflakes will fall. And not one of them is like the one before or after it. They're all unique. They're special. And so are we. We're unique and we're special. Our retirement income is going to be unique and special. How much we save for retirement, what our expenses are, our family structure, our medical concerns, our tax brackets are all unique. And you need to have someone to put those together and to make it coherent so that when you do get there and we are in retirement, it makes sense. And that's what it's about. When you sit down with me, and we're going to go over these things. We're going to talk about the income you're getting. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from Social Security, pension, 401k, IRA, or annuities? Where's that money going to come so we can continue to live? We're going to go over expenses. There are some expenses we have today that you are not going to have tomorrow, Mark. And conversely, some that we don't have now, we're going to add. You're going to add the mobile home, the Winnebago, to travel the country and see baseball and football games. You're going to lose this other expense, but add that one. We're going to talk about taxes because how are we going to sit there and plan properly for the future? And then we're going to go over your medical, your Social Security. It's a lot of pieces, but that's what it's about. And that's why when you sit down with me, I'm going to make sure that you're lined up correctly. You know where you're going, how we're going to get there, and more importantly, we get to go for the long run. And we're going to be that tortoise where we continue to live and have a great life and enjoy ourselves. But you need to give us a call, 302-330-2166, or go to Patria Wealth, Patria Wealth.com. Let's schedule a no-cost, no-obligation appointment, and let's see where you're at.
Investment advisory services are offered only through properly registered representatives of Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, which is not affiliated with Portrayal Wealth Group. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if George Politarhos is licensed in your state, please contact his office. George A. Politarhos is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities, offered through George A. Politarhos, NPN number 175000473.